Hey everybody, TC Bradley, host of God Made Millionaire TV, with a special edition show lined up for you. Ladies and gentlemen, most of you do not know that some 8 years ago, I suffered a sudden cardiac arrest outside of my home and was clinically dead for 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes before I was revived. Ladies and gentlemen, they call that sudden cardiac death. When I died that morning, my dreams, my God-given dreams, died inside of me. This issue of health means so much to me, so very much to me, that on this special edition of the show, I've asked my good friend Damon Davis to come and share what God has done in his life and is doing through his life with his book, God Cures. God Cures is an incredible book that will help anybody transform your life, your health, within 21 days. Damon Davis is also the founder of the Zoe Wellness Centers. Ladies and gentlemen, when I started doing TV, you may have noticed I was the fat man on TV. I got on Zoe Wellness and I lost over 20 pounds just in the first 30 days. So that's another reason I want my good friend Damon Davis on the show. And without any further ado, let's crack open the vault and let's get this show started. Damon Davis, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here.
God has raised up a man in this hour and given a mandate, an assignment to bring light to the darkness, to bring hope to the hopeless. So many people watching the show right now, they are gripped with fear of the unknown. And here you are, an author of an incredible book, God Cures. In the midst of this pandemic, what do you think about all of this?
For me, and for so many people watching, it's how will I process this crisis, this dilemma here? I'm so excited to be here on your program to answer some very important questions that many of us are asking right now.
Right.
What are we supposed to be thinking, and how are we supposed to be conducting ourselves, and how does the body really work, and what can I do to prepare myself, to protect myself? How long will this thing last? So many questions, and I know that the book just scratches the surface, but TC, it's not a matter of if sickness and disease can and will impact our life, either directly or through somebody that you know. Maybe already it's ripped through your home. You get up every day, you're in pain, you're praying God would show up and perform a miracle, and yet you know that you're living beneath your privileges. You know that this isn't the life that God designed for you.
You know, Damon, my personal story, having a sudden cardiac arrest at 48 years of age, clinically dead for 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes before I was revived. And it dawned on me, what have I done? So many people right now, they've woken up in a body that they don't recognize. And it was due to the consequences of the actions and the habits that I had lived my life with.
And then you ask yourself the obvious question, so many of us do, how do I get out of here? And then, how do I not get back here again? And unfortunately, so many people watching the program right now that are dealing with obesity, type 2 diabetes, autoimmune diseases, which include arthritis and a whole host of issues, waking up every day inflamed, in pain, dealing with some sort of cardiac issue, or perhaps have survived, and in your case, a cardiac event. They're on pills and potions and lotions because they're fighting inflammation in the lungs, asthma, hypertension, dealing with something going on that is robbing them from the quality of life.
Right.
And limiting them from being able to do what they want to do, what God's called them to do. And I like to say it like this: we're living some modified version of the way life's supposed to be. The body is not designed to live a modified, altered version of how God created it. You're not bouncing out of bed with the energy you used to have. You're not performing like you want to on the job. You're in pain all the time, and now that's overflowing and affecting your relationships. And then something else happens. You look in the mirror, and you find yourself just not happy with who's staring back at you. Self-esteem takes a hit. Self-confidence takes a hit, and before you know it, so many of us start asking the question, is life worth living? Is this the best life's got? And before you know it, all of the dreams, they're gone. The goals, they've faded. Before you know it, you're just getting by to get by. And TC, that's not the way life's supposed to be for us.
I was a mess mentally, physically, emotionally. I was in a fog. Then it started having muscle spasms. My body was a mess. There's nothing out there that would help me.
I did not expect her to tell me that I was a type 2 diabetic. And that was some very devastating news. I just felt like, I got a death sentence.
Now suddenly when we're having to go to the store with one of these on, or we've lost a job, and I'm telling you, the stuff that's happened as a result of this pandemic, it's real. It's horrible. All of us are fighting this horrible, deadly crisis, this global pandemic that is real. But I will tell you there's good news.
Come on.
We have been fighting that every single day since we came out of the womb. It's just now by a different name. And it's not a mask that's going to save us. It's an understanding of what really is happening at a genetic level. It's understanding how God made you and I, spirit, soul, and body, how these three parts of human personality are supposed to function, that is going to get us in what I call in the world of Zoe Wellness Centers of America, help us get fit to fight. Because it's not a question of whether or not crises and tragedy and turmoil are going to come visit your home. It's a matter of when. And are we going to be ready to fight?
Right.
I am on a mission to help people understand and bring truth found in this book that will not only transform their lives, but help them get to not the modified life, but the life that God intended to begin with for you. So that it doesn't matter how much you've lost, how much time is gone, how far down you may feel or how far down you might be. All of that, right now, that fast is a stepping stone, a platform, a breeding ground for the greatest days that are ahead of you. And I believe that with all of my heart.
Damon Davis, you got me ready to run. I'm telling you right now.
So I started Zoe Life. My life changed. After 30 days, I lost 20 pounds and have not had the muscle spasms.
When I read God Cures, it wasn't just my body at stake. My soul and my spirit was at stake as well. So I actually went to the Zoe Wellness Center. I weighed in at 224 pounds. 30 days into the program, I was at 201 pounds. And it really changed my lifestyle for the better.
I was suffering last 2 years with horrible back pain. Upon reading more about the book, God is really the answer. My testimony today is I don't have that pain in my back anymore. God healed my back.
You talk about something in your book. When you got diagnosed, when you received that death sentence over your life, you talked about being lonely
And
limited. But I want you to talk about that, but also, you also talked about a battle plan was birthed.
My parents split when I was 7 years old. I was raised by an alcoholic stepfather who literally beat me every day. Permanent scars on my legs today. I survived that. But as I talk about in my book, that so many people watching the program right now will understand, or maybe you don't, and I'm going to spotlight it for you. Hardship, great tragedy, great prolonged, sustained, unending stress. In my 20s, I died 12 times. Now, let me explain that. I had fallen out in the front yard of my house, playing ball with the kids, my heart doing 268 beats a minute.
Wow.
My intervention was paddles, from calling 911, or a shot called a Denacard. And a Denacard, nicknamed the death drug, called a beta blocker. What it basically does is they inject this shot into your body, and I could only describe it like this. I could feel the heat rush coming, and just brace yourself, lights go out. My heart, on a scan, would show that my heart stopped beating. And they hope that the electrical impulses of your body will kick your heart back into beating again. 12 times. I'm in my 20s. And you man up, pull your bootstraps up, and you just keep fighting life. I go to the Congo with Dikembe Mutombo, shot a documentary for the first modern hospital in war-torn, deep, dark Africa. Beautiful country, beautiful people. I was amongst the children and the people. And one day coming back, I wake up celebrating this wonderful journey in the Congo, and I couldn't close my hands. I was running a low-grade fever. I moved my feet to the floor, and it felt like walking on glass. And he says, I have bad news for you. You have a very aggressive stage of rheumatoid arthritis. Here's a kid who survived child abuse, divorce, tough breaks in life, and I survived that heart thing, but boom, now I'm hit with this. I cried, and that was not a pretty picture to be told in my early 30s that within 10 to 15 years I could be in a wheelchair if I survived it all. I'm asking myself the same questions that you're asking. What did I do to deserve this? How did I get here? What's next? How do I get out of here? It is a limited and a lonely existence.
Yes, it is.
And I will tell you that when you're at that place where there's nowhere lower to go than, because you're so far down, there's nowhere to look but up. You know that kind of low. And you're tired. And suddenly, hear me now, suddenly, I don't know how it happened. Yes, I do. God. Where my thought crossed over to a why me and became why this. And God took me on a little journey, my friend. I profile in God Cures about an absolute diabolical intention of the enemy to destroy the gifts and the callings and the purpose and the destiny that God wrote on the tablets of our heart. There's so much in that book that I want people to understand, and that is how much God wired into your DNA and how much information is available to us through science, through medicine, where you can take control and have dominion over your life and start making a plan, developing a blueprint to live the greatest days of your life. And I really profile that in the book. I really help people understand how the body works biologically. And I help people understand what is going on in the soul. And then I really begin to prick and prod and challenge people to believe, to recognize, to think deeply upon, why am I here? What does God put me here to do? Do I really have a special gift, a superpower to unleash in the world? How can I tap into that? How can I develop it? And so in the book we profile those three parts of what I call human personality: spirit, soul, and body. And I profile that somewhere along the way, the three parts of human personality became fractured, misaligned. And what science tells us now, this isn't Damon's words, we're talking about major universities who released big published papers, peer-reviewed by experts, that say that something is happening at a genetic level that is often triggered, switch turned on, something that the industry calls epigenetics. Something is happening in those times of great stress, great chaos, great tragedy, that is literally switching on genes that are now being expressed of sickness and disease from generations that are written on the spools of your DNA. So this misalignment, this you, the three parts of you, out of order because of nurture, how we were raised, because of nature, what's going on in the environment, then what can we do to get the fractured me, the out of aligned me, the gene expressed me, the obese me, the type 2 diabetic me, the cardiac event me, the hypertension me, right? And the list goes on and on. The autoimmune me. Can we not get back into a place of alignment so that the body can do what the body is designed to do? And this is what science tells us. And this is what medicine tells us. That's what I profile in this book.
The mind is very powerful and controls everything that's going on and can very easily manifest fear into a physical or medical ailment. People, when they're sad, they eat too much or eat the wrong things. Essentially, that fear is now manifesting not only your behavior, but the illnesses and the result from those unhealthy behaviors in the body.
I am 41 years old and been diagnosed with congestive lung failure, diabetes, all at 41. Doctors have estimated, due to some other genetic problems, if I'm not able to lose the weight, I'll be dead in 5 years.
Damon, after I had my sudden cardiac arrest, lying in that cardiac intensive care unit, I made a decision in that moment that I wasn't going to be a cardiac cripple for the rest of my life. Talk about the power of one decision.
Yeah.
People listening at home, you are one decision away from a completely different life. Are we spinning hope, false hope to the people listening, Damon, or is that really true?
It's true. This is what I talk about in the book. We are absolutely a decision away from the greatest days of our life when we discover that the decision begins right here. The pain is real. The betrayal is real. The job loss is real. The empty bank account is real. But that's not the whole story.
I would agree.
You still have the power to put yourself in the best position to be healthy and withstand anything that comes your way. I highly recommend that you pick up Damon Davis's book, God Cures, because again, it is the foundation for the program that we've expanded into Zoe Wellness.
One of the statements that was made to me was, we want to heal what's inside so that your body can do what it's supposed to do, and that's burn the fat. I lost 36 pounds in 30 days.
30 days ago, I was 268 pounds, and you wouldn't believe today I'm 33 pounds lighter. It's amazing what this program can actually do for you.
My mother passed away at 42 years of age to breast cancer. I have a baby sister now that is reaching the age that my mother was when she passed, and she is so in tune with her body now. So much so because of what you're talking about in this book, Epigenetics.
Epigenetics, my friend, is science's revelation that nurture and nature, what you went through in the home and the environment that you're raised in, has a profound, compounding, powerful impact on what is happening in your cells, what is happening in your DNA. And our understanding of this revelation, completely and totally scientific based, is helping humanity rise above simply praying our way through to victory, and us having the understanding of what we can do naturally.
Right.
With good nutrition, hydration, sleep, stress management, undoing some decisions we've made. There is so much that we can do. I talk about it in the book. There's so much that we can do to develop a profile, a pattern of living, a step-by-step process to speak to the deficiencies and the fractures and those three parts of human personality, soul, spirit, and body, to move you into a place where the body is able to do what God designed it to do: repair, regenerate, heal,
right,
The question you asked me earlier, are we one decision away? Whether we like it or not, we're making one. The person watching this program right now, in just a moment when the 800 number comes up, they're going to have a decision to make. Here's the decision. Do I do nothing? Well, guess what? You've made one. The decision you made to do nothing is to stay right where you are, and life will not change. Chances are. In fact, it'll get progressively worse. Or you make a different decision. I've tried everything else. It's time I try something different. I am telling you, as sure as my name is Damon Davis, that if somebody gets this book, if they read it,
Right.
I mean read it, don't skim it. You get the information inside you, and then you just give me and my team 21 days. That's all I'm asking for. In fact, give me 7. And the first 7 days with me and my team, I'm talking about a team of the most qualified, trained, best of minds, best of breed people who love to help people get well. We're going to turn you inside out. And it's going to start with me doing a diagnostic called the Circle of Life. I took all of this data, it's the law of big numbers, of all of these people that we profiled over the years. My personal journey and the journey in my actual center. I have actual centers, brick and mortar centers called Zoe Wellness Centers of America that are here receiving people. I get 1,000 people calling one of my centers every month alone. I got over 400 people coming through the door who are sick, diseased, distressed. They're looking to lose weight, but so much more. They're looking to discover wellness.
Right.
See, I don't want to just give you a pill, get you a diagnosis, and leave you on your own. We want to move you past that point, because sickness and disease, that's just a symptom of the bigger problem. All COVID did was spotlight that the world wasn't ready to fight. I am telling you, everything that died, those dreams, the purpose that you had, the destiny that you believed in, everything that the enemy stole from you can be born again. Does it begin with a decision? Are we one decision away? Can somebody say yes?
Yes.
You didn't tell the story, but I'm going to tell on you now. You and your wife went through my program. I think you lost 20-something pounds. Your wife lost upwards to near 30 pounds. But I'm going to look you dead in your eyeballs and say, you haven't even scratched the surface. Because it is not your waistline that I'm thinking about. I'm going to take the same paddles, proverbially speaking, that those paramedics put on my chest to get my heart beating. And I'm going to put that with this information, my team, our tests, our profiles, our roadmap, and I'm going to put that on everything that's dead in your world. And by God's grace and His power, my brother,
Right.
it's going to awaken something in you and the people watching, a giant that the devil cannot stop. You have not been waiting on God to be your cure. God has been waiting on you to say, I'm ready.
Wow.
There's so many people watching right now that were where you were. There was a day when suddenly, without warning, your heart stopped and you died. That much is certain, the end will come. The measure of a man is what you did with the life you had, the life God gave you. And I'm telling you, there is so much life left in me. I've got so much left to do. All the devil did was make me mad. And Zoe, my brother, is just my beginning. Let it be yours, and let it be now. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you. In 2012, I had a sudden cardiac arrest at 48 years of age, and I was without a heartbeat or a pulse for 1.5 to 2 minutes before I was revived by the paramedics. They shocked me 2 times to bring me back to life, and they rushed me into the hospital. I had a 100% blockage of my left ascending artery as well. They rushed me into emergency surgery, which I didn't know if I was going to survive.
My husband, T.C. Bradley, when he had the sudden cardiac arrest and died in the ambulance for 1.5 to 2 minutes, I was so grateful and so blessed that he came back.
It was a very profound moment to come face to face with your mortality before they brought me through those doors for that emergency surgery that morning. And it's been a roller coaster for me, more down dips regarding my health than positive dips, even though I would try. But it's been a challenge because of diet choices, because of not having the right strategy.
So I didn't want to go through that again. I knew that if I got on the program of Zoe Wellness, that I would be an example for him.
I host a show called God Made Millionaire TV with T.C. Bradley, and in season 1 I wasn't at my best. I wasn't at my best because I didn't have access to the program. So I'm very proud about season 2. People can see the transformation in my life and the change in my life with their very own eyes. You know what's funny about my story is that my wife and I signed up at the same time, but I didn't start. You know, she immediately gravitated towards the program.
So I went on the program and I was so excited because it was not hard, it was easy. I never was hungry. I've never been on a program ever before that I lost the weight plus the inches.
Right before my very eyes, I see this amazing transformation of my wife, you know, of being on the program. And I'm like, well, I got to get on this thing. She had a remarkable transformation, living her best life, enjoying it. We spend our evenings together now, not in front of a TV, but we'll go for an evening walk and enjoying our life to the fullest. But it's all because of the program and doing it together. If you concentrate on what really matters, which is living a healthy lifestyle, that's exactly what this program will provide you, is the strategies to live a healthy lifestyle. It is not just the food choices. They have a complete program that deals with the mind, body, and the spirit, the complete package. And if you zone in on that, that's where you're going to see the breakthrough. So for me and my house, it was a defining moment coming across this program. I endorse, 100% endorse the Zoe Wellness program. It's changed not only my life, but the life of my wife and our team at God Made Millionaire TV, who I've gotten on the program as well. So to the team at Zoe Wellness, thank you so much. You're making a dent in the universe because you've made a dent in my universe. Hey everybody. What a powerful show we just had with my very good friend Damon Davis. And if you're like anybody right now, you've got that little fat man sitting up on your shoulder whispering in your ears. Get on Zoe Wellness, for crying out loud. Read that book, God Cures. Listen, plant your flag, stake your claim, and be bold, be courageous, be decisive, and order Damon's book, for crying out loud. All right, Big Mike, hit my music.